Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I welcome all of the panelists, and you brought your cheering section, I see. So welcome to all of the women in the audience. Aloha. So for our entire panel, how many of you had trouble getting access to capital? Raise your hands. So obviously, and I bet, yes, I see some hands from people in the audience, and that is one of the often cited very practical concerns is access to capital. Is there anything more that Congress can do to enable small businesses, especially women-owned businesses, to have access to capital? Any of you have very specific ideas about what Congress can do? Anybody? Go ahead.
They can thank you. They could access more the greater loans. They have a microloan that Seed has in our local community. It's only $50,000. It's been the same for, as I know, the last 15 years. Nothing's changed. Then also look at second stage companies, as myself. You know, you start out at one point, you need different needs as you grow. Let us continue to grow.
Anybody else? Yes. Ms. Sweeney.
Yes, thank you. The beauty of the WBCs is their ability to provide additional resources. There has to be an opportunity to include access to capital internally, from micro grants, other private funding within Baltimore. There's a huge resource or an ecosystem built on non-traditional funding. Being able to tap into those resources and leverage those opportunities within the WBC so that it increases access to capital for mentees.
Anyone else with other ideas?
Yes, Congresswoman, I would just add that and underscore particularly small businesses in the child care sector that are nonprofits being able to have access to the for-profit SBA loans. And then broadly, I think it's important that women are able to keep as much income coming into their households as possible. And that gets into tax policy. That also gets into regulatory sides. But that's what I would suggest.
Ms. Somerville, did you want to add something?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for the opportunity to share. I'd also like to add the recognizing of larger business and the strengthening of the partnerships between the larger business and the small business in terms of mentorships. That's another way to continue to enable our success. Thank you.
I know some of you, I think at least two of you, benefited from the mentorship opportunities that were provided through the Women Business Center. So was that a very critical aspect of your ability to start your businesses, the mentoring? And what can we do to increase those mentoring opportunities? Ms. Somerville.
It was truly a significant supporter. I think the biggest thing was with the WBC and applying for my women-owned certification as a small business was the hand-holding aspect, the flexibility, as the ranking member Ernst mentioned, that we do a lot of things in the evenings. I think they were relentless in being accessible on weekends and late evenings and literally enabling me line by line, step by step, because the process can be extremely challenging. Navigating through that, the support was unyielding. And I think the flexibility that the program offers in terms of accessibility was bar none.
I have visited the Women's Business Center in Honolulu, and I know that it makes a really big difference. One of you mentioned the need to access broadband, and I think that's very true, and that is why some of the funding that we provided for this purpose, especially for rural areas, through the infrastructure bill and others, I think that's going to be really critical to enable entrepreneurs in the rural areas of our country to be able to sell their products. So I think that was Ms. Sweeney who mentioned that, so thank you very much. And I think one of the challenges is the need for affordable child care, and our country spends less or provides less in support for early childhood education and child care than just about any other developed country, probably the least. And so there are some bills that would provide additional support for access and affordability to childcare. Would you agree that for the panel that that is an important element of enabling businesswomen to, yes, to have successful businesses?
It is hard. I lost most of my female workers And it was hard for them. We have a training program that we started because we partnered with a local organization called COTS. They are a nonprofit that helps take women off the street with children. They teach them skills, and we bring them in and teach them how to make wire harnesses and provide a place for them to work. If we don't have we sub them out to our competitors.
And frankly, the only three countries that do worse than us in terms of supporting childcare affordability and availability: Ireland, Costa Rica, and Turkey. So we need to do a heck of a lot better, and there are a number of bills that would enable the affordable and access to childcare, and I think that's something that we need to do for the women in our country, and I say about time. Do you agree in the audience? Go ahead and clap. All right. Thank you.